Most PEMF mat reviews online are basically sales pitches. At Perfect PEMF, my goal is different. I want to help you cut through the marketing hype so you can make a smarter buying decision. I'm Larry Feltz, and to spend more time testing devices rather than filming videos, I use a digital avatar of myself for many of these reviews. In today's video, we're taking a close look at BioBalance PEMF mat, covering the technology, performance, pros and cons, and whether it actually delivers real value for the price. Let's get into it. Alright, next up is the BioBalance PEMF mat. And this one is interesting for a couple reasons. First, it's sold through Dr. William Paulick's website. If you've spent any time researching PEMF, you've probably come across his name before. He's considered one of the better-known PEMF educators and experts in North America, so the fact that this mat is associated with him definitely adds some credibility. Now, of course, reputation alone doesn't make a mat good, so let's break down the actual specs and see how it stacks up. 10 Gauss puts this mat in a strong category. That's enough intensity for people who want a more powerful PEMF experience without getting into some of the ultra-high commercial systems that cost dramatically more. So overall, 4 stars here. Solid power output. Now this is where the BioBalance really stands out. 21 coils. That is the highest coil count of any mat in this entire comparison. And why does that matter? Because more coils generally means better body coverage and more even distribution of the PEMF signal across the mat. Instead of having dead zones or weaker areas, you get more consistent coverage from head to toe. So for full body PEMF sessions, this is honestly impressive. Easy 5 stars plus here. This mat focuses strictly on PEMF therapy. No infrared, no negative ions, no photon lights, no extra bundled therapies. Now, depending on your perspective, that could actually be a positive. Some people prefer a dedicated PEMF system instead of an all-in-one wellness mat with a bunch of extras added in. But in terms of overall feature count compared to combo mats on the market, I still have to score this at 3 stars. The warranty is 3 years. Not bad, but not amazing either. There are companies now offering 5-year warranties, and in some cases even longer, so 3 years feels more middle of the road in today's market. 3 stars. Now this is a strong point. 90-day return policy. That gives you a lot more time to actually test the mat consistently and decide whether PEMF is working for you. A lot of companies give you 30 days, sometimes less, so 90 days is excellent. Easy 5 stars here. So here's where things get a little more complicated. The BioBalance absolutely has some strengths. Excellent coil coverage, strong intensity, long return policy, credibility behind the brand. But the challenge is the price. At around $2,590, it's significantly more expensive than several mats with fairly similar core PEMF specs. For example, it's roughly about $1,000 more than something like the Healthy Line Jet in many cases, and even more compared to some other strong value options on the market. So while the performance looks good, the value equation becomes tougher for a lot of buyers. That's why I land at 3 stars for value. So overall, the BioBalance mat does a few things exceptionally well. The biggest standout is definitely the coil count. 21 coils is remarkable, and if your primary goal is strong full-body PEMF coverage, this mat deserves serious consideration. I also like the 90-day return policy. That reduces some of the risk when you're spending this kind of money. The biggest downside really comes down to pricing, because once you get above the $2,500 range, buyers naturally start comparing it against a lot of other premium mats that offer similar intensity levels, sometimes with additional therapies included. So if maximum coil coverage and a PEMF-focused design are your priorities, the BioBalance is definitely worth a look. But if value per dollar is your main concern, there may be other options that give you very similar performance for substantially less money. That's my full breakdown of this mat. If this helped you cut through the noise and get closer to a decision, hit the like button. It takes 1 second and it tells me this kind of in-depth review is worth making more of. And if you want to stay on top of the latest PEMF mat reviews and comparisons, subscribe and hit the bell. I'm constantly testing new devices so you don't have to. Now if you're still in research mode and haven't settled on a mat yet, I've got you covered. I've linked a video above reviewing the top 30 PEMF mats on the market right now. That's a great place to start if you want the full picture. Or if you prefer to do your own side-by-side comparison, head over to perfectpemf.com. There's an interactive comparison table there where you can filter and compare all 30 mats in one place, specs, features, price, all of it. Thanks for watching. I'm Larry Feltz, and I'll see you in the next one.